Hello, how you doing? My name is Jack. Welcome to the Happiness Habit. Today, we're going to talk about something that's made me wonder for years, and that is why are some people that you and I deal with, why are they so creepy? You know the word creepy? You know, something that makes your skin crawl. You're like, there's your intuition tells you there's something not right about that person, that neighbor, that person I work with, that man I see who works at the local supermarket, the one at the lady in the bank. There's something about them. What I've discovered is that's your intuition, your God given, built into you, nature given intuition. That's like an alarm going off saying, stay away from this person, is what the alarm is saying. That's what your intuition is saying. It's like everyone knows, like, you ever walk, maybe you walk uh, where I live sometimes there'll be like a couple of homes together and someone will be cooking bacon, and so you're walking and you're like, ooh, somebody's cooking bacon. That's a pleasant moment, oh, that's kind of nice, right? It smells nice. But then there's other times when what's that smell? And you're like, what is that? And that's your reaction. Your reaction's like, what is that? You ever get that kind of reaction from when you deal with people and you're just like, what is that? Maybe you're in a bank and you walk across the parking lot back to your car, or you're walking back down the sidewalk to get home, and you're like, what? That person was so weird. What was that? That's your intuition speaking to you, telling you, pay attention. Your intuition's trying to tell you something. And it might be somebody you live with. It might be a longtime friend or something, somebody you've held close, or maybe they've gotten worse over the years. But the bottom line is some people are just so stinking creepy, right? You can't always explain it. Maybe nothing out of the ordinary has even happened, but it's just the way they are. It's just the energy that they put out, right? We live in a universe in which everything vibrates. Everything. You have a vibration. I have a vibration. Lower vibrational people are living at the levels of shame, guilt, apathy, grief, fear, anxiety. In other words, they have a lot of problems. So they're living on a lower level. You ever heard the term low life? Quit being such a low life. Well, there are low lives out there. It's like their energy is bad. It's like they're in a permanent funk. It's like they make your skin crawl. They're creepy. I woke up this morning, and that was like one of the first things to come to mind. I was like, something's guiding me, telling me, pushing me, Jack, go talk about creepy people, right? So here we are. And I thought, why don't we just start off with a definition of what creepiness is? Because your intuition is telling you, stay away from this person. They're bad news. If you associate with a low life, what's going to happen to you? If you lay down with dogs, you're going to get fleas, right? You don't want to lay down with dogs. So, to define the word creepy, it's something that causes fear in you, or unease, or discomfort. You're just like, that. There's something. I'm not relaxed around this person. I feel unsettled, right? I laugh because I lived in a house as a boy growing up. I lived in a house with 4 of these things. 4 of them. I didn't know that at the time. I thought that was normal because to me it was my normal. I didn't know. I mean, I knew something was wrong, but I didn't know what normal was. I thought everybody had big, major family problems like that. But anyway, I've apparently I've been surrounded by these creatures. That's another word, creepy creatures. For my whole life, I've been surrounded by these things. So it's people who cause you fear inside, or they give you unease, discomfort, not comfortable, not relaxed, unsettled. Strange environments can be creepy. Strange atmospheres can be creepy, and so can people. People can be downright creepy. We've all experienced this, right? We've all met somebody who's made us uneasy. And the problem I've had is I have ignored that feeling. I have ignored my intuition, and I have made the mistake of continuing to associate with this person because I just don't put 2 and 2 together too quickly until later, until after the damage is done. Have you ever had, maybe you're thinking of some creepy person that you know now. Has that creepy person ever exploded in anger at you, for example? Right? Maybe. That's what I'm talking about. Is my intuition was trying to tell me at the beginning, Jack, get away from this person, but I wouldn't listen, or I just discounted my own intuition. I discounted nature. Nature was trying to protect me, and I wouldn't listen to it, right? So then what happens? You keep associating with that person, and what happens? They explode. They scream at you, and then you're like, we all know what that's like, right? You ever been screamed at? You're just like, oh my God. They just like blasted because they are emotionally uneasy. They just blasted a hole in my emotional fabric, inside of me. They just tore a hole in me. A destructive force can only destroy. That's what it does. It's a destructive force, and it took me the longest time to start to see people, in that way, but I really do now. My insight now, I mean, I'll just share this briefly, is I look at people now where it's angels and devils. It's either an angel, who are extremely rare, but I know a couple of them. And God will send you an angel too. Once in a while, they'll just kind of cross your path and they'll communicate a message to you. But you got to be kind of alert and aware and awake to pick it up. But then, like, there's a lady who works at the supermarket that I go to. She's an angel. But a lot of people at that same supermarket, those employees, they're stone cold devils. But I'm not today talking about angels and devils, but I'm just saying that's how I categorize people now. It's pretty much 98, 99% devil and 1% angel. That's pretty much how it is. There's not a lot of good people out there. That might be an awful lot for you to handle right now, or for people in general to handle. But that is the truth that I have discovered. I'm 64 years old and I've come to that conclusion. That's just the way things are right now. So my experience, I've mentioned before, I grew up around several narcissists, and later I encountered narcissistic bosses, narcissistic neighbors, narcissistic friends, right? I mean, they are legion, these types. They're everywhere. This world is teeming teeming with narcissists, like grains of sand on the beach. They're everywhere. Members of a small, like a church type truth class that I used to attend for 25 years. The first 19 years of that were fantastic. Why? Because the truth class itself was led by a strong man who gave great talks, really knew, truth inside and out, and gave great talks, spoke from his heart. But you know what? Even when you do that, people hate you for that. Are you kidding me? You think this world wants to hear truth? This world hates truth. Narcissists really hate truth. So I should have clocked it. I mean, I knew it was happening, but I didn't put two and two together for the longest time. I gave people the benefit of the doubt. But while this one man was in charge of that group for 19 years, in the sidelines, on the periphery, there were people there, narcissists, all of them creepy too, very creepy, who were planning, plotting, and scheming to gain power. They didn't want truth. They weren't there for truth. They were there for power. And I saw it happening, but it just didn't really dawn on me. I knew that they were nasty. I knew that they would attack this man left and right, but I just didn't, it just didn't register. So, the atmosphere when Sam was running it was warm, friendly, helpful, authentic, genuine. I mean, Sam had a good heart. He was a good man. He was a narcissist too, but he was a good narcissist. He was not far along the spectrum toward psychopathy and sociopathy. He wasn't malignant narcissist. He was just run-of-the-mill average narcissist. I know some of you know what I'm talking about, because you have a lot of friends. You have friends. I have friends and family and neighbors who are narcissists. I can see they tick the boxes. They're self-absorbed, self-centered, the whole bit, but they're not bad about it. They're not nasty about it. When they start getting nasty about it, and they seem to find glee in hurting other people, including you, that's a malignant narcissist. And you go, okay, you got me once, but now you just revealed yourself. I know exactly what you are, and I know exactly what to do, which is to keep away from you. Put up the wooden cross, the garlic, the mirror, whatever you got to do to keep Dracula at bay, right? So Sam wasn't perfect, but Sam loved truth and reality, and it showed, okay? And the atmosphere reflected that for 19 years until Sam got sick, leadership changed, and a new director was put in, and he was completely different. Not only a narcissist, but a bad one. Cold, dismissive, angry, hostile, totally artificial, gave horrible talks, couldn't speak, horrible. Sam would talk about self-observation constantly. He was always talking about self-observation, which is what this channel describes, which is how you get out. That's how you get your life back. But as you self-observe and your insight gets better and better and better, your self-insight increases, you also can start clocking other people, and you see exactly what they are. That's the trade-off. Not only do you wake up, but you wake up to the reality of where you are living and the state, the emotional, psychological state of other people. So you not only regain your awareness, which that's what you're supposed to be living in awareness, you're supposed to be self-observing, but you also see that other people, they're not they're not even alive. They're dead. Dead is why narcissists are so creepy, because they're dead. They are not living. They are not among the living. They are the dead. There have been TV shows on this and movies. You know, Dracula was dead. Dracula, you know, Dracula is, you know, Bram Stoker, the author, wrote that book, and people, when it first came out in the late 1800s, in 1897, the book flew off the shelves. It was the only media entertainment that people had was to read in those days. No radio, no TV, no YouTube, TikTok, none of that. They had books. And then the word spread like wildfire, like, you got to read this book. Have you read Dracula? No. Oh, you got to read it. This is amazing. Why did people have that reaction? Because the character, Dracula, described people that they knew. It described human nature. It described narcissists. Dracula is in literature the original narcissist. Go back and read that book, or the Cliff Notes or summary or whatever. Reacquaint yourself with the story of Dracula, because it's so true. A big phony is what he was. He was a devil in disguise. And that's what narcissists are, in my opinion. That's what they are, flat out. You know, God doesn't run our world. Higher energy created everything, but low energy runs this world, and that low energy comes from Satan. How does Satan operate in this world? Through human beings. Through human beings who have agreed to take on low energy. Because that's an agreement. Because Satan says, if you want all these things from this world, you can have them, but you got to come with me. And these are all people who said, okay, sure. I want the money, the fame, the power, the everything. I want everything this world can provide. I want it. And that's the narcissist. They've been called hungry ghosts. Hungry ghosts. They're a ghost because there's nothing inside of them. They're empty, right? But that's what this other. Once Sam was gone and left that group, this other one came in, complete, abject, phony, artificial, false, fake, manipulator, truth twister, twist, mangle, truth, lie, bad one, malignant, bad one. You know, they say every good king is followed by a bad. And that's what happened. So the atmosphere changes overnight, right? And this new leader, he attracted similar personalities. He associated with similar personalities, other bad narcissists, bad ones. One female, bad one, terrible one. She's probably one of the worst. And a handful of other men too. And I don't even call them men. I call them cowards, because I dealt with these people. I know what they are. I know what, what their makeup is. They're cowards. No one is more cowardly than the devil or one of devil's agents. It's been said, when Satan can't get you direct, he sends you a narcissist. That's true. That's true. That's my experience. So all of it just got so bad. I walked. I left after I was there 25 years. I just walked out. So why are narcissists so creepy? I'll tell you, in my opinion, narcissists are creepy because they are disconnected from their authentic selves. You and I have an authentic self. I can come home to myself. I have an inner life. If you said, Jack, what you're going to do today is just sit on the couch, I'd be fine with me, because I'll just sit there and observe myself all day, which is what I do no matter what I'm doing. If I'm over getting the oil changed in the car. I'll sit in that oil place. I'll sit in that garage for 3 hours. I don't care, because I'm sitting there and I'm observing myself. And it's a fascinating study. It doesn't mean you're self-absorbed either. It means you're alert and aware. It wakes you up. That's the best medicine going. So everything they do, because they're empty and hollow inside, these hungry ghosts, it's performative. It's false. You can see right through it. Again, as soon as you start self-observing, when you can see yourself in action, you can see other people in action too. So then authentic people, who are very few and far between, and complete phonies. And if they're a phony, they're not good for you. They're not good for you at all. You need to steer clear. So now you're starting to see just how many people in this world you need to steer clear of. You need to stay away from them, because they're toxic. There's another word for the day: toxic. Why are narcissists so toxic, right? They're creepy. They're toxic. Do not ingest. You'll get sick. And everything about them is scripted and manufactured and contrived and phony. And they present an image. It's big false. They present their false self, and that's all they've got is their false self. And they will defend that to the death. They will defend that false self. The lights are on, but nobody's home is one of the ways I describe it. I remember looking at my mom, who was a narcissist. Okay, I have nothing to hide from you. My mother was a narcissist. She was my adoptive mother, thank God. I'm not, I don't have a natural born, I don't know what my blood is. I was adopted like a year at age 1 or so. Okay, thank you for adopting me. Okay, thanks. But look what they adopted me into, a household of narcissists, right? A household of hungry ghosts, empty people. And boy, could they fight. They fight. They all hated each other. Bad. The lights are on, but nobody's home. That's my mom, right? The lady I called mom, right? Something essential is missing, and it's their inner life, their emotional life. They don't have one. And I can sense, and you can sense, emptiness inside of them. There's an absence of genuine warmth. There's an absence of genuine connectivity. How can you relate with a ghost? How can you relate with you're human, so you want to relate with another human, but you can't, because you're like, you appear in quotes to be human, but you're not even there. The lights are on, but nobody's home. They're not authentic. There's no real presence that I've found with these people. They're not there. But see, the whole thing is, if you are there, if they're artificial and you're genuine, they hate that. They hate the fact that you are real, because they are so false, and they will try to destroy you. Okay? I'm telling you flat out. I'm not afraid to use that word, because that's the adjective that describes what they're trying to do. If anything that's dead will hate, be jealous of, want to destroy anything that's alive and living. Okay? Don't ignore. I'm telling you, learn from my mistake. Do not ignore. When you go, next time you see somebody creepy, you're like, that's a creepy thing to say, a creepy thing to do, a creepy way to be. That's your intuition. Don't ignore your intuition, okay? That doesn't mean become paranoid. It doesn't mean to go around labeling everybody. But just don't ignore persistent feelings of unease. How about that? Persistent feelings of unease. Little kids are great. I don't want to go to Uncle Harry's house. Well, why, honey? Oh, Uncle Harry likes you. You need to go because I'm your mommy and I'm going. I'm your daddy and I'm going to go see Uncle Harry and you're coming too. And the kid's saying, I don't like Uncle Harry. Listen to your kids, parents. Your kids sometimes have more insight than you do. Wake up. Okay? So those feelings, that intuition is trying to protect you. It's an alarm going off. Hey, wake up, wake up. I'm sounding the alarm. You know. So anytime your intuition starts going off, anytime remember Spinal Tap, this amp goes to 11. Yeah, anytime your intuition is on 11, blasting, listen to it, pay attention to it. If there's something creepy and wrong about Uncle Harry, don't go to see Uncle Harry, okay? Just why would you do that to yourself? Uncle Harry's not going to change. If you're working for a creep, find another job. Do something else with your time. You don't need money that bad, right? I can't tell you what to do, but I'm talking to myself, right? That's what I would do. Pardon me. So looking back, these creepy people, they literally creeped me out of that group. They creeped me out. I'm leaving. This place isn't changing and it's getting worse and worse. And I saw that new director explode on people. He exploded on me 2 or 3 times over the years. And I'm like, what's wrong with you? What is your major malfunction, right? Leaving was one of the healthiest decisions I ever made. And what a shame, because it was such a fantastic group when Sam was running it, because Sam was a good man. Sam was strong, good, spoke from his heart. The room was loaded with truth, light, understanding, creativity. It was a pleasant atmosphere. I grew. I woke up, psychologically, emotionally. I could hear it. I could speak it. It was great. But when all that ended, man, I should have walked right then. But I didn't. Because I didn't know. I didn't understand the depths of depravity of human nature. Human nature can be wonderful. Human beings can create things like unbelievable. Look at the Sistine Chapel. Without Michelangelo laying on scaffolding and canvas on his back and painting the ceiling, the Sistine Chapel would be Navajo white. It wouldn't be there. So human beings, when they're connected to higher energy, can create amazing things. But when they're not connected to higher energy, they can be horrible, deplorable, low, horrible demons. Okay, that's the range. Okay, that's what we talk about here on this channel, right? So leaving was one of the healthiest things I ever did. Awareness allows you and me to recognize these people sooner and to do something about it. Have nothing to do with creepy, low, dark, nasty, degenerate liars. Have nothing to do with those people. They are toxic. They will harm you. That's the point I'm trying to make. So you wake up by way of moment to moment impartial self-observation, which we discuss on this channel in my books. Those are the Narcissism books right there on the website, right? So the more awake you become, the harder it is for falsehood to disguise itself as truth. Okay? And they hate being unmasked, these creepy narcissist types, right? So that's it for today. If you've found this content useful, please consider liking, subscribing. We could really use some, we need subscribers to keep this channel going. Like, subscribe, add a comment. All three of these things help the channel very much. It helps the YouTube analytics. Please visit my website. Check out my 4 books on narcissism. There are more books on the way. As soon as I post this video, I'm going to be back at the keyboard writing, right? If you have any specific questions, you can message me on the website's contact page. It's jackcarterbooks.com. Anything you want to ask me, send me a note there. I will answer, okay? Just fill in the form and I will receive your note. For now, that's about it. And do all you can to wake up and to look around and try to distinguish the people who are there to truly help you and the people who are there to not help you. Distinguish that, okay? And I'll see you next time.